Hello. Today I'm gonna wear a suit because I'm heading out with my friend to meet the investor. After sending many pitch decks to a lot of companies, finally there's one called Do Ventures agreed to meet my friend and talk about his project. So in this video, I'm gonna show you some business aspects.
Audio Jungle.
So we call it a pitch. A pitch is a talk that attempts to sell something or to persuade someone to do something. In just 10 to 20 minutes, you should convince the investors that they should invest the money on you, or more accurately, why they should invest the money on you instead of other thousand companies they could invest in. Talking a bit about Do Ventures is a premier early stage venture capital firm that focuses on making venture capital investments in information technology companies in Vietnam and Southeast Asia. Unlike the TV shows, investors don't invest in a startup just after presenting the pitch deck. It takes a lot of meetings to finalize the deal. So, the main objective of a pitch deck is to make the next meeting with the investor possible and to make them open to negotiations. The world of tech startups can be extremely exciting and rewarding, but success is certainly not guaranteed. In fact, 90% of new ventures that don't attract investors within the first 3 years will fail. Let me show you how the investment game like.
Okay, so today I'm going to do a briefing about what this investment game is about. Always the difficult part is how do you ace the game? Okay, both on the team's end and also on the investors' end. Okay, so without further ado, let me just do a share screen. Okay, so maybe just to give a brief introduction about ourselves. So I'm Boon Chao from Intuitive. So most of you all would have probably read from the press release and from the Facebook post about the program that we are running in Ho Chi Minh City come January. So this program is called Ninja Accelerator in Ho Chi Minh City, and it is sponsored by JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. So we're the proud partner to conduct this program for the inaugural run in Vietnam. Yeah. So our aim here is to accelerate startups, okay, so that they can get up to Series A funding in double quick time, I would say, or in a manner which is faster than usual. So we're sharing our experience from our Singapore story. So how Singapore move away from what we traditionally known as a finance hub and became the startup hub. That was a few years back, and how we move up the ecosystem rankings from 17 to 10 in the space of about 2 years. So we're going to share our experience and using that to duplicate our learnings so that we can help the Vietnamese startups and also get them to and get the ecosystem in Ho Chi Minh City or in other parts of Vietnam to benefit from our learning. Yeah. So that is why we're holding this, running this program, so that the teams here can really get to scale their businesses and to become more mature and to be able to access the global markets. So with here, there are opportunities to access the ASEAN market through Singapore and so through Japan. So these are a lot of the opportunities that we offer to the teams that make it through to the finals. Yeah. So in the game that will happen on next Tuesday, 1 p.m. Vietnam time, that's 2 p.m. Singapore time and 3 p.m. Japan time. So we will put everyone in this highly intense investment game that will run for typically 3 to 4 hours. Yeah. We usually run this for about 3 hours, making it intense because teams, right, also called the investee, okay, you will learn how to pitch quickly, say the right things, um, you know, design your punchline and design your own tagline so that it triggers the hearts of investors. Okay. So in this game, we'll put together all 30 teams with all the investors. It could be 30 or more. Okay, so we are still recruiting more investors. The reason why is because this is to increase your exposure to the investors so that you learn to talk in the way in which it attracts investors' attention. Yeah. So for the startups, it is really getting to know what to say and how to say and how you're going to sell your company to the potential investors. And for the investors, it is for you to learn, how to size up the teams that you're talking to or the startups that you're talking to before you engage them and to put down your dollar. So in this 3 to 4 hours of the gameplay, you learn to fine tune and to sharpen your angle in which you talk to the investors and to listen to the investees' pitch. Okay, so as an investor, you'll be given a $1 million of play money. Okay, then this game is designed such that there is only up round and there's no down round. So it's really lucky for you because in the real investment world, that could actually happen. Yeah, but in this game itself, we are trying to make a couple of assumptions so that the gameplay becomes more interesting. And there's a minimum investment quantum. So, for example, okay, every team will actually start at a share price of $10,000 per share at the start of the game, at the onset of the game. So I have set the investment quantum to be at least $1,000 more and maximum $5,000 more. So that is to say, in the first round, an investor, if you were to put down the money on the team, the minimum you should offer is 11,000 and you can buy one share, okay? And the maximum that you can offer is 15,000. So this game will be happening actually on 2 platforms. So first will be on Zoom. So we will put the teams into breakout rooms, Zoom breakout rooms, and you'll be, so every team should have 2 members, one member to manage the investment game account and the other to do the pitch or to roam around the other room to grab investors. Yeah. So coming to the startup, okay, so what it takes for you to win and what are the tips that I can give you? Yeah. So for the startups, how do you win the game? Okay. Your starting price is at 10,000 per share. You can sell up to an infinite number of shares. Okay. So this is another assumption that is not reflecting the actual world. You want to be able to sell your shares quickly. You want to be able to sell your shares so that the share price increases. Now, every time that you successfully make a transaction, so that means you accept the offer from an investor, it will be considered as one round concluded. So it's really for you to be able to quickly, okay, talk about what is so important and why is it that the investor should put money in your company. Okay, so the quicker the investor puts money in your company, okay, it's a zero-sum game. So which means that you are actually depriving other startups of the money, right? For the investors, it is really for you to invest aggressively, early enough so that you quickly spray the money quickly. That means get your money out, invest as quickly as possible. So that means you should move from pitch to pitch quickly. Don't hang around for too long. If you find that a team is not interesting enough, you should quickly move on to another team because time is limited. Okay, the earlier you get into investing in those high-performing teams, okay, you'll be able to reap the up-round benefits. Okay, it's a very simple math. Okay, if you go in early, 10,000 or 11,000 or 15,000, you buy the company, huge amount of shares, and the company, if they grow to 50,000, you can imagine what is the upside for you. Okay, but I would encourage that you don't prepare a slide which is 10 or 20 pages. You should prepare a deck which is simple enough in 1 or 2 slides at most, because you only have about 2 or 3 minutes to capture the attention of the investor. Okay, so you do not want to run through the complete story. Okay, you want to say, you want to pitch your whole idea within the 2 slides. What is your business about, and why should investors invest in you? You should have 2 person, one to manage the game account, and the other who can roam around the whole game and to grab investors. Okay. Right, so maybe I will just stop here for a moment before I get into the game interface. Is there any question from anyone? Am I clear enough? You can unmute yourself and ask me any question at this point.
May I learn when the game start and how long? I see you mentioned 2 hours, so the game happened for 2 hours.
Okay, so no. Okay, so the game play will be on the 24th of November. Okay, next Tuesday afternoon, 1 to 4 p.m. Vietnam time, which is 2 to 5 p.m. Singapore time, 3 to 6 p.m. Japan time. Okay, yeah. Any more question from anyone?
Yes, Chow. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Chow, every startup can approach to one investor in that event, only one investor. For example, Chicken can approach to only one investor because, as you mentioned, for every startup, we have time about 3 minutes to attract the investor and hunter. Okay?
Okay. You do not need to only engage one investor at any time, because remember, any investor can roam around. They can jump into a room at any time. So even when you are delivering a pitch, right, you do not need to restart. Okay, the investor can jump in and can just continue from where you are presenting. Okay, so let them listen. So that's why it is important that you are able to capture their attention in about 1 or 2 minutes, because your pitch should be within 1 or 2 minutes. Even if you want to repeat, it's going to be again another 1 to 2 minutes. Now, just now I was sharing about multiple investment. Okay, so at any time, okay, you could be talking to 1 or 2 or 3 or even more investors for the teams. Now, so say you manage to impress a few investors at any time, and a few of them says that, hey, I want to put money in you. Okay, so what happens? So you look at this investor Glenn, investor Brian, and investor Chong. They decided to make an offer to this team, okay, to this team called Startup Boom, right? So Startup Boom received these 3 offers, okay, from the investors, which are at 14,000, 14,500, and 15,000, okay, for 1 share each, okay. So what do I do? Okay, now the game is such that, okay, as I mentioned, there is only up round, okay, and there's no down round. Now, if you want to accept all 3 offers, yes, you may do so, but you can also choose to accept one of the offer or 2 of the offer, okay. So, but there's a way in which you should accept. There's a sequence at how you should accept the offer. You should accept the offer from the lowest price to the highest price, 14,500, then the 15,000. Okay. Why is that so? Because remember, I told you there's no down round, right? So which means if you accept the higher amount first, and if you accept after this 15,000, you try to accept 14 and the 14,500, it becomes a down round for you. So it cannot happen. So the game will run into an error which says that you have to reject the offer. Okay. Now in the game, okay, when you log in, you can see view investors. Okay. From the view investors, you can see who are the investors that are still active, because they still have available cash. So that means they have money left. So you can go around the game and to hunt for these investors. Then for investor, okay, similarly, you'll be able to update your own profile as well. You can introduce about yourself, put in your own LinkedIn profile, and provide any more information that may be interesting to the teams that you are talking to. Okay, so in the investor dashboard, you'll be able to see this. Okay, you can see the companies that are active and what is their current share price. Okay, And these are the number of shares that the company has sold. Okay. So from here, you can punch in your offer and select the company that you want to invest. Okay. You decide what is the share price to buy and what is the amount of the share that you want to buy, at least one share. And when you purchase, okay, what is the share price that you purchase? Okay. And you can always check back, okay, and what is the share price currently, right? Okay. As for the investors, this is the portfolio growth rate that you're interested in, and for the investee, is the share price that you're interested in. As an investor, okay, you can see your own dashboard of the transaction, okay. So you can see who you have offered and accepted, which of those have expired. So there's a time limit in which an offer will stand, okay. The current time limit, I've set it at 8 minutes. So that means once an investor puts in his transaction, you have 8 minutes to close it. So it will be best, okay, when the investor, okay, so you should be able to strike a conversation between the team and the investor. Okay, if the investor says that, okay, I'm convinced that I want to buy shares of team ABC. So he will punch in and carry out a transaction. So inform the team, okay, I have already sent in my transaction. Okay, do you see it? So the team should check that, oh, I received, okay, and you have to quickly decide if you want to accept. Okay, if you want to accept, close the transaction quickly. Okay, if not, if you want to reject, okay, you can, from the button, you can actually reject the deal. Okay, so this is the game platform. Okay, is there any further question from anyone?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes. How we can access to the platform? Sorry, for some minute I disconnected. I don't know how we can connect to the platform you were explaining.
Okay, can. Yeah. So I'm going to make this available right now. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so investors, okay, these are your username. So you can use this username to log in.
Buncho-san, sorry for interrupting.
Yes.
This is Yatabe from Deloitte, and I have one question for my understanding.
Yeah.
So in theory, one investor can make one transaction with one investee, and
yes. Okay. Yes.
and then, but of course, in theory, we can, but the investor can offer many times until the time it is accepted.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So I think you brought up a good point, Yatabe-san. Okay. So any investor can only invest in you once. Okay. One time. But for example, so that means if once the transaction completes, he cannot offer to you again. Okay. The system will not be able to allow you to select. Okay. So, but if, for example, the team decided to reject the investor's offer, so the investor can offer multiple times. To the time in which they accept the offer, then the investor cannot make further offer to the same team. Okay.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So for investees, so really is to be able to talk to as many investors as possible. Do not spend too much time on one investor. If you know that they are probably, you know that they are not so keen, or they're just playing along. So this also for you to have that kind of sensing, okay, when you talk to the investor. All right. So if the investors no problem with the logging in, okay, then can I get, okay, so Brenda, can you share for the teams?
So Brenda will be assigning you to your breakout rooms, and for the investors, we're going to make you a co-host, and you can okay, so investors are free to choose to talk to any investee. Okay, you can roam around any room at any time. Okay, we do not assign. Okay, there's no way that you can assign, because you are free to pick whichever team that you want to choose by joining that breakout room. So the breakout room will be named according to your team name, okay? And you stay in that room to pitch to the investors. But you are given the co-host rights means that you can also roam to other rooms. If you see that there's too many investors in one room, maybe you want to just grab some of the investors to come to your room and to hear your pitch. Okay, you can do that. Or go to the investors' resting area, go there and grab any investor who still have money to invest, okay, but they're still inside, you just want to grab them to come to your room, okay? So there's a question about how do we know an investee talking to other investor? Yeah, because in the room, you hear the conversation. Okay, so that's why we need to put you in your own breakout room. There will always be an active conversation between an investor and investee. And as an investor, okay, you can always hijack a deal if you think that the investor is that are in conversation is taking too much time and you want to invest in the team and you want to quickly move on. You can quickly say that, hey, okay, I don't care about what you're talking to the investor right now, but I want to invest in you and this is my price. Okay, you can punch in into the game in the face, okay, and tell the team, okay, please see if you want to accept or you want to reject. Okay. So in this game, okay, you have to break down the walls of politeness. Okay, there's not really politeness. Okay, it's really you want to come out on top. Okay, this is the time to ace it. Yes, you can interrupt the conversation. Okay, that's why I say you have to break down the walls of politeness in this game.
Hello? Patrick, I think you're on mute.
Oh, okay. I tried to join 2 breakout rooms, but instead I went into investor rooms. How does that happen?
Okay, so you can click the breakout rooms right now, then you'll see a list of the breakout rooms. Then you can join any of the rooms.
I did that, but first time I clicked agree business, then it threw me into an investor room.
Oh, I think maybe you can try again.
Okay, let me try again.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, hi. I went to triple F. Nobody there.
Nobody's there. So you can just see some of the teams, right? Okay, like for example, now you click the breakout rooms, you would see names with like a green dot beside their name. It means that the room is actually available and